Ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo, ilantad ang likas nating talento, at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at magpapatalo, ipag-iwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, Chumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Amiga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa sa kapwa ko Pilipino.
Umarangkada na po ang kampanya ng Gilas Pilipinas para sa paghahanda ng Fiba World Cup. At kasama po dyan, of course, ang pagbabalik ng mga fans sa ating mga palaruan. Yan po at sandamakmak na kwentuhan tungkol sa palakasan sa inyong paboritong kasama tuwing Sabado ng umaga. E di paano? Bango na! Power and play na! Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Mga kapatid, naku po katapusan na pala ng Pebrero. Diyos Mariosep. February 26, mga kaibigan, maraming salamat sa inyong patuloy pong pagkasama sa amin ngayong Sabado ng umaga sa inyong paboritong kaalmusal. Ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum, Cherry Tigo, It's Fun to Drive, at ng Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan, powered by Smart. Ako po si Noli Eala at kagaya ng sinasabi natin, balita natin, medyo ngayong katapusan na ng Pebrero, mukhang bababa pa yung mga alert levels. Aron na ba ang alert level natin? Alert level 2. Pero mukha daw yatang, ayan, tingnan mo, alert level 2. Meron mukha daw may mga bali-balitang baka ibaba pa yan. Kaya po, bumubukas na ang ating ekonomiya, pero ingat-ingat pa rin tayo mga suki. Pero importante po na pagbukas ng ating ekonomiya, pagbukas ng ating mga industriya, ay tayo po ay hindi mang-aabuso. Wag po nating abusuhin itong ating pagkakataon na ika nga ay makalabas, makapaghanap buhay. Mag-ingat pa rin po tayo, face mask at social distancing. Of course, kasama ng pagbubukas ng ekonomiya, ang pagbubukas ng palakasan. Ako kagabi ang dami ng nanonood ng Gilas Pilipinas. Na-miss ninyo, no? Na-miss nating lahat yung pong laban ng Pilipinas kontra India sa Fiba World Cup Qualifier. Sayang lamang at hindi nakarating ang Korea, pero nandiyan pa rin po ang New Zealand na ating makakatunggali sa linggo. Kaya po patuloy po tayong nagsasaya at of course ang PBA, balik na rin ang fans. Magbubukas na daw ang UAAP at ang Premier Volleyball League na ating pag-uusapan po ngayong araw na ito. Marami po tayong dadaanan. Kakamustahin po natin ang ating champion na si EJ Obiena. Mamaya ang ganda po ng ating panayam at usapan kay EJ na umuwi nung isang gabi sa Italy at ating pong siya kagad nakausap. Mamaya rin po kakamustahin natin sa ating patuloy na serye sa ating paghahanda sa Southeast Asian Games, ang Philippine Weightlifting Association. Kasama si Presidente Monico Puentevella. At huntahang basketball, lalong-lalo na sa NBA. Kasama ang inyong mga paboritong analysts at broadcasters, Boom Gonzalez at si Coach Ryan Gregorio. Lahat po yan sa ating palatuntunan ngayong Sabado ng umaga. Kaya dyan lang kayo. Kami na ang bahala sa inyo. Sagot namin kayo. Simulan na natin sa pamamagitan ng ating Sports Weekly Highlights. Nagningning si Stephen Curry at inagaw ang spotlight sa All-Star Game matapos magpaulan ng 50 points para tulungang manalo ang Team LeBron 163-160. All-Star Game record ang 16 made threes ng baby-faced assassin na kinurnahang All-Star Game MVP. Nakuha rin niya ang kauna-unahang Kobe Bryant Trophy. From one superstar to another. Nasungkit naman ni EJ Obiena ang ikalawa niyang first place finish ngayong taong ito. Gold medal ang inuwi ng pambato ng Pinas sa pole vault sa 2022 Orlen Copernicus Cup sa Poland. Natay ni EJ ang season best niyang 5.81 meters para makuha ang panalo. Huwag niyo pong palalampasin, kagaya ng nabanggit ko kanina, ang one-on-one natin sa Olympian at Asian record holder mamaya. PBA update naman. Umarangkada sa come from behind overtime win ang NLEX kontra Rain or Shine 109-100. Natambakan ng 22 ang Road Warriors bago mag-init sa third quarter. Sa second game ng Friday doubleheader, winakasan na ng Barangay Ginebra ang kanilang losing spell matapos talunin ang winless Blackwater Bossing 109-100 din. Bago ang panalo, 4 na sunod-sunod na talo ang naitala ng Gin Kings. At sa Gilas naman, may automatic win agad ang Gilas Pilipinas sa Fiba World Cup Qualifiers matapos manalo by forfeiture kontra South Korea. Hindi na kasi tumuloy ang Korean squad sa February window matapos magpositibo ang ilang nilang mga manlalaro. At kahapon lang, dinagdagan pa ng national team ang panalo nila sa quarters matapos pataubin ang India 88-64. Nanguna para sa Gilas si Dwight Ramos na kumamada ng 17 puntos. Bukas ang pinakamabigat na hamon sa Pilipinas dahil makakatapat nila ang Tall Blacks ng New Zealand. Laban lang! Puso, mga kababayan! At yan po ang ating buod na mga balita sa ating Sports Weekly Highlights. Talaga namang sayang. Talaga pong nakakapanghinayang na hindi dumating ang South Korea national team na pinaghahandaan din naman itong World Cup Qualifier. Dahil alam niyo po, ang South Korea ay perennial contender para makapasok sa World Cup. In fact, I think ilang sunod-sunod na yan na sila po ay nakakalahok dun sa World Cup. Pero ngayong taon na to mukhang delikado dahil sa kanilang hindi paglalaro dito sa ating window, tila baka sila ay matalo, mabigyan ng forfeiture ng FIBA at yun na nga, magkakaroon sila ng record na mahirap makalabas, no? Kung sila po ay magkakaroon ng 0-3 record, naku, mahirap makalabas na yan sa FIBA World Cup Qualifier. Kaya po, yan po rin ang ating pupulsuhan ngayong araw pong ito sa ating Pulso ng Bayan, hatid sa inyo ng Chooks to Go. Alright, ito po ang ating tinatanong o tatanungin sa inyong lahat. Kasi nga, hindi makakarating itong South Korea. Malaki bang kawalan para sa Gilas Pilipinas ang hindi paglalaro ng Korea sa FIBA World Cup Qualifiers? Ulitin ko po yan Malaki ba para sa inyo Malaki bang kawalan yan para sa Gilas na hindi maglalaro ang Korea ngayong window natin dito sa Pilipinas? Kung gusto niyo pong makilahok sa ating usapan, mag-text lamang sa aming hotline 0908-208-0629 o di kaya mag-comment po sa Twitter ko, sa aking Twitter, @Noli Eala, o sa Facebook page ng Power and Play o Facebook ng 1PH at Radyo 5. Meron po kaming ibibigay na gift certificates mula sa Chooks to Go. And again, yung po mga nanalo na last week, nung unang linggo, na namimigay po ang Chooks to Go ng gift certificates. Mga manok po yan, pagkasarap-sarap. Mga kaibigan, nasa kanila na. May mga inilabas na po kami sa aming Facebook page sa Power and Play para makita ninyo na talagang ang Chooks to Go ay namimigay ng sandamakmak na mga Chooks to Go. Yung mga harissa roast, oven roasted chicken, napakasarap po yan. Again, magkomentaryo lamang. Mamaya po pipiliin natin ang mananalo. Ang ating, hindi naman kailangan yung pinakatamang sagot. Yun lang medyo interesante at maganda para po ating babasahin mamaya sa ating show as we end today's show. Siya nga pala, gusto ko lang pong muling kamustahin lahat ng ating mga suki sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM. Ang ating po mga kababayan na bumabiyahe ngayon, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Of course, ang ating po mga nanonood sa 1PH on Signal TV. Good morning to everyone, lalong-lalo na po sa lalawigan ng Pampanga. Sa Biyernes, naandyan kami. Sa Biyernes, at ating nagpapasalamat na kami kagad kay paring Adrian Flores sa pag-aayos ng isang event namin dyan sa Pampanga. Maraming salamat. And of course, hello world sa lahat po ng mga nanonood sa Facebook ng 1PH, Radyo 5 at ng Power and Play. Ako, napakadami nating pag-uusapan uli. Ang isa pa nating tinutunghayan sa kasalukuyan, of course, ang paglalaro ng NBA dahil tapos na po yung All-Star Weekend. Yan pong All-Star Weekend ay hudyat na yan ang kalagitnaan at nasa patapos na sila ng kanilang regular season. Kaya po yan ay puspusan na ang paglalaro ng mga koponan. Nagkaroon na ng mga palitan ng player. Ang isang inaabangan ko, of course, ngayon dahil ako ay malaking fan ng Philadelphia 76ers, ang unang laro ni James Harden ngayong araw na ito kalaban ng Minnesota Timberwolves at ng Philadelphia 76ers. Unang laro ni James Harden kasama si Joel Embiid para sa Sixers. Naku, napakagandang laro yan, ha? And of course, mamaya din naman, makikita natin yung Battle of LA. Battle of LA dahil yan po ay labanan ng Clippers at ng Lakers. Pero pinag-uusapan muna natin ang mga labanan dito sa Pilipinas kung saan nagbubukas na po ang mga liga. Well, ngayong umaga pong ito, maswerte tayo na makakasama natin walang iba kung hindi ang Pangulo ng Premier Volleyball League at ng Sports Vision. Walang iba ko po kundi ang aking kaibigan si Mr. Ricky Palou. Good morning, Ricky.
Good morning, Noli. Good morning to all our listeners and those watching us. Thank you for this invitation, Noli.
Well, maraming salamat, Ricky, for joining us. Alam ko na busy na lahat ng mga liga. Kayo, you're also very busy. I guess ang unang tanong, tuloy na ba ang Premier Volleyball League Open Conference this coming March?
Tuloy na, Noli. We're starting on March 16. And we have 9 teams participating.
Alright. Ang ibig bang sabihin nito, Ricky, is that ito ay magiging open na? O kayo ba ay maglalaro pa rin sa isang bubble setup?
Actually, it's not a bubble setup. Semi-bubble. Bawal pa rin yung mga spectators for the meantime, di ba? We will hold it here in the NCR. It will be held in the Paco Arena.
Paco Arena. Okay, so malinaw na yan, ha? March 16 sa Paco Arena, mga kaibigan, although bawal pa daw ang live fans. Ricky, even if magpalit ang alert levels, hindi nyo pa rin i-consider ang pagpapapasok ng spectators?
Yes, well, right now kasi gusto namin sana sa San Juan Arena, sa San Juan Filo Arena maglaro kasi yun ang magandang Coliseum for spectators. It's big enough, hindi masyado nakakalapit sa mga player yung mga tao. Kaya lang, hindi pa available because they're using it as a vaccine center. So in the meantime, dito kami sa Paco Arena. Medyo maliit yung Paco Arena. For the players, no? Siguro kung may spectators doon, mga 300, punong-puno na yun.
Okay.
So we decided muna spectators until we are able to transfer to San Juan Filo Arena.
All right. Nabasa ko that the format will be different. Ginawa ninyong pool format, pool setup. Why the change, Ricky?
Nagpalit kami, Noli, dahil we have to have a shorter conference this time around kasi by April, we have to end by April 10 dahil mga April 13 or 14 na aalis yung national team, pupunta sa Brazil para mag-training. So kailangan tapos kami before they leave. So that's why we had to shorten the tournament. We did it. We made it into 2 pools to accommodate the national team, which is preparing for the Southeast Asian Games.
How did the team owners take this, Ricky? Because obviously, alam naman natin, you are a professional league now and of course, a commercial league. And again, the teams are there for exposure. With a shorter schedule, was there any adverse reaction or are they all supportive of the decision para sa ating national team?
They're supportive naman, Noli, kasi alam nila for the country ito, So very supportive sila. But they're asking lang sana in the next conference medyo mahaba-haba. So we're looking at actually having 3 conference if it's possible, no? This year. But definitely yung last conference, the one with imports, which we will hold sometime in October or November or October, medyo mahaba-haba yun, diba? We will have it siguro for a little over 2 months siguro yung tournament na yun.
Oh, and hopefully by that time, medyo malinaw na ang situation natin and mas maganda na yung venue, mas madali na ang organizing ng liga. Ricky, what about health and safety protocols? Alam natin, bumababa ng alert levels, but is the PVL still going to implement a lot of the health and safety protocols na inuutos ng IATF?
Well, ang in-advise namin sa teams na is for them to remind their players to be extra careful, di ba? Wear the masks as much as possible. Tapos, kung pwede, papunta lang sa laro at saka uwian lang. Wala na muna yung labas-labas, di ba? But kung maging alert level 1 at open na lahat, I guess the players will, and the team owners can tell the players na you're free to move around, di ba? But still, even if they're free to move around, we're asking them, please be careful, wear your mask, kasi if you do not have 7 players when in a game, you will forfeit the game. Well, so dapat kasi minimum players for to be able to have a game is 7 yung sa amin. Actually, internationally, it's 6, pero ginawa namin 7. Diba?
Okay.
Kasi sa international, 12 lang yung players. Dito sa atin, we're allowed 16 players in your lineup. So that's more of a safety precaution for the teams, diba?
Well, we certainly hope na walang ganyang klaseng pangyayari dahil nakita na natin yan sa napakaraming pagkakataon na ang mga kuponan ay nagkakaroon ng forfeitures dahil sa COVID. Of course, the latest one is South Korea dyan sa Fiba World Cup Qualifier. Ricky, you know, ang PVL now is a pro league and of course, as a pro league, meron mga factors. You've been you run a pro league in the PBA. You have been doing the PVL for very long, and stability seems to be the most important part of a professional league. Nakita natin ngayon, you have 9 teams competing in the Open Conference, and there have been teams na nag-leave of absence din, no? Katulad ng Santa Lucia, katulad ng Perlas Pilipinas. Is there a concern? Is there a concern on your part that parang may revolving door? And is there a move ng PVL na magkaroon ng longer-term commitments mula sa mga teams?
Oh, yes, there is, Noli. First of all, the 2 teams that went on leave of absence the reason was it was because of the COVID pandemic. But we have 9 teams. Actually, Noli, marami pang gusto sumali. Kaya lang, you know, we're studying their viability muna. We don't want teams that papasok sa atin tapos after 1 year, aalis na, di ba? We want a team that comes in to stay in for the long term. So, pinapag-aralan namin very well itong the backgrounds and the strengths of their team. Right? Kasi baka kung sino-sino lang yung mga player nila just to be able to join, di ba? So, yun. We're asking our teams to come in on a long-term commitment, di ba? So that they will stay with us for the long haul. In fact, pinapag-aralan namin na mag-ano kami ng franchise fee.
Okay.
So that at least pag may franchise fee sila, may stake na sila sa liga,
Right.
at saka may say them. So yun yung mga other options that we're looking at. We're also looking at having a salary cap, diba? Para hindi masyado mahirapan yung mga team owners. And those are some of the items we're looking at. We're also looking at, Noli, magkakaroon din kami ng draft starting 2023 para yung quality ng teams medyo gumanda.
Yun nga ang gusto kong tanungin, Ricky, because usong-uso ngayon yung pinag-uusapan ng balanse, ang parity, naririnig natin yan of course, sa PBA, sa basketball. Nakita natin kung gaano karami din ang player movement na nangyayari sa off-season ng PVL. Well, unang-una, on the player movements, what is the take of the PVL? Is this something that you are encouraging para mas maraming pinag-uusapan?
We're not really encouraging it, no? Kasi ang gusto namin talaga is the teams should be at par with each other. Wala masyadong malakas, wala masyadong mahina. And to do that is to come up with a drafting system. And we will be strict with the drafting system, kasi we don't want a team drafting a good player tapos i-trade lang sa isang team na may pera, di ba? Gusto namin pag nag-draft ka ng player, you keep the player for a certain period of time before you can dispose of her or trade her, di ba?
And that would just really mean dapat ang mga hanay ng teams, ang lineups ng teams, or rather ang list ng teams will be firm for the next couple of years dahil syempre with that in place, talagang makakapag-draft kayo ng maayos. You were talking about salary caps, drafting. Is that now going to be approved? Ito ba na-approve na ng inyong grupo? And as you said, are we expecting this sooner than later?
Well, we plan to start implementing this starting 2023.
Okay.
Actually, we've sounded out the team owners, and more or less they're all amenable to it. In fact, they're looking forward to a draft system and the salary cap. Yung salary cap lang medyo mahirap pag-usapan. It's one of the items that we're having some difficulty because, as you know, siyempre, yung mga players, baka salary cap, ayaw namin ng salary cap, but actually, it's the team owners that we're going to talk to and let them decide, di ba? But we will get some feedback also from the players. Kakausapin rin namin yung players. Tingin nyo dapat yung salary cap, yung mga ganyan.
Well,
mahirap kasi pag walang salary cap, yung mga magagaling na player, mapupunta lang sa mga teams na maraming pera. Yun yung ayaw namin mangyari.
And of course, maganda sana na masimulan ng maayos yan. Alam naman natin na pag medyo you start on the wrong foot, mahirap ng kumpunuhin, mahirap ng ayusin yan, in the long run. So really a set of rules para sa simula and with the team owners buying into it, napakahalaga. Ricky, moving forward for the rest of the 2022 season, you mentioned that you're planning 2 more conferences. Are you looking also to allow collegiate teams with a special guest license from the GAP? Ito ba ay posible? What are the plans of the PVL for the rest of the year?
Well, we're actually going to leave it to the professional teams. College teams will not be allowed to participate as a whole. What they can do is they can lend their players to some of the professional teams, but this is allowed by the NCAA. Hindi pumapayag ang UAAP sa sistemang ganito. So I guess at this point in time, it will be open only to the NCAA and other players from different leagues outside of the UAAP. Yung second conference namin, we're looking at a conference that will be, it's like an invitation tournament knowledge. Magkakaroon kami ng elimination ng participating teams, and then we will move the top 4 teams, the top 3 or the top 4 teams to another round wherein we hope to be able to invite 2 foreign teams to participate. So to make it more interesting, so the top 3 teams in the elimination round will proceed to a semis and finals round wherein there will be 2 foreign teams joining them.
What about imports, Ricky? Meron ba kayong plano magpasok ng imports in any of the conferences?
Yes, on the third conference, which should be sometime in October, we will hold it in October. There will be each team will be required, if they allow that, they will be required to import to take in 2 imports. to their teams. So, para mag-iba, so that it will not become monotonous, that's the same thing over and over
Tama.
again. Diba?
Oo.
Yan yung plano namin, Noli.
Wow. Maganda. Again, iba-ibang putahe and obviously the interest will grow as the year goes on and na-excite na ang maraming volleyball fans. Ricky, before I let you go, the 2022 Open Conference is about to start. It is a shortened format, as you mentioned. What can the fans expect? Mas intense ang action dahil mas maikli and obviously with the movement, what do you think is your expectations for the coming Open Conference?
Well, Noli, I think this conference will be very interesting. Medyo nagpalakas lahat ng teams, so we expect more competitiveness among them. I don't, when I'm looking at all the player movements that happened during the breaks, talagang nagpalakas ng mga teams ng mga lineups nila. So this conference will be very interesting, diba? Very competitive. So mas exciting, tingin ko, it will be an exciting conference.
Well, we're all looking forward to it dahil ang tagal na nawala na naman ng volleyball. Of course, you played last year in a bubble at hindi masyadong even now, pumasok pang F2 Logistics. So lahat ng magagaling na teams at magagaling na players ay naririyan na and we're certainly very excited to once again see top-class volleyball sa ating bansa. Ricky, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good luck sa PVL and we look forward to having you on the show again next time.
Thank you very much, Noli.
Mga kaibigan, ang Pangulo po ng Premier Volleyball League at ng Sports Vision, walang iba kundi si Mr. Ricky Palou. Exciting days, exciting times ahead para sa mga volleyball fans. 9 teams competing. Nandyan pa rin, of course, ang defending champion, Cherry Tigo. Nandyan pa rin po ang Creamline. And, of course, ang F2 Logistics ay pumasok na. So, talagang napakagandang bakbakan yan with a lot of player movements. We're looking forward to an exciting PVL Open Conference on March 16. Alright, bago tayo mag-break, mga kaibigan, isang paalala po mula sa Smart. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Gigalife app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Bro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Gigalife app do for me? Check your balance, monitor your current subscription, top up using debit credit card, subscribe to the latest Giga promos, monitor your data consumption, auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network, one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Alright, sa amin pong pagbabalik, usapang NBA. Kasama ng inyong mga paborito, si Boom Gonzalez at Coach Ryan Gregorio. Dito po sa Power and Play, atid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo at ng Chooks to Go. Ang oras po natin, 8:31 ng umaga. This time check is brought to you by Birmingham Subdivisions. Come home to Birmingham.
To be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours. With Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Alex. Alex! Are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice. Naswak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Power and Play with Kom Noli Eala.
Basta man siya, di kailangan ng mamahaling panlaba.
Sa surf, linis ay todo at aming best ever bango. Ang surf na gamit nyo na with our best ever bango. Sa surf, linis ay todo at aming best ever bango. Ang surf na gamit nyo, todo linis at aming best ever bango.
New Surf with Active Clean with our best ever bango versus previous formulations. Todo linis na singgaling ng mamahalin based on technical test versus Brand X powder and polyester.
Ang surf na gamit nyo, todo linis at aming best ever bango.
Ang star-studded at mystery singing competition on TV ay nagbalik na. Mas marami, mas masaya, at mas itotodo pa ang kantahan at hulaan dito sa
Masked Singer Pilipinas Season 2 tuwing Sabado 6 p.m. sa TV5.
Basta man siya, di kailangan ng mamahaling panlaba.
Sa surf, linis ay todo at aming best ever bango. Ang surf na gamit nyo na with our best ever bango. Sa surf, linis ay todo at aming best ever bango. Ang surf na gamit nyo, todo linis at aming best ever bango.
New Surf with Active Clean with our best ever bango versus previous formulations. Todo linis na singgaling ng mamahalin based on technical test versus Brand X powder and polyester.
Ang surf na gamit nyo, todo linis at aming best ever bango.
Noli Eala Power and Play sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Binabati po natin lahat ng ating mga kaibigan, mga suki sa Cebu City. Mayong buntag, kaninyo tanan dyan po sa Cebu. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat sa inyong patuloy na pagsubaybay sa Power and Play. Alright, huwag na tayo magpatumpik-tumpik pa. Kasama natin ang ating mga paborito para sa ating extended fast take ngayong umagang ito. Walang iba kundi ang ating paboritong mga sports analysts and anchors, Boom Gonzalez and Coach Ryan Gregorio. Magandang umaga. Gentlemen, mukhang inaayos pa. Inaayos pa ba? Sige, ayusin mo na. Fast Take is brought to you by Cherry Tigo. It's fun to drive. At kasama po natin si Boom at si Coach Ryan. Good morning!
Morning!
Yun!
Kom, good morning! Boom, good morning!
Good morning!
Morning,
Na lang,
Kom.
ayusin
Good
lang
morning,
natin
partner.
yung video. Hindi pwedeng puro audio yan. At kailangan makita ng fans ni Coach Ryan ang kanyang... at saka ni Boom ang kanilang makikisig at naayos lang natin, gentlemen, at mukhang meron pa tayong problema sa ating Zoom link. Pero again, mga kaibigan, ang pag-uusapan natin ngayong umagang ito ay tungkol sa NBA. Sige, okay na. Okay na. Ayun, si Coach Ryan. Good morning, Coach. And there's Boom. Salamat ka. Salamat.
Good morning, Kom.
Thank you for joining us this morning sa Power and Play. Kahapon lang, pinapanood kito kung si Coach Ryan. At, una-una, Coach Ryan, your impressions sa pagkapanalo ng Gilas kagabi?
Well, we did enough to win against India. Obviously, a lot of adjustments have to be done, especially against a formidable team like New Zealand tomorrow. But I like the way we play defense. We were able to step and protect the three-point area. Defensively, okay naman yung ating half-court defense. Something that we can improve on also now, especially against a big team, is our interior defense. So happy with the victory. But of course, marami pa tayong pwede pang gawin para mas maging maganda yung ating performance.
Malinaw na medyo may konti pang amuyan na nangyayari kahapon dahil hindi naman yan talaga nagkasama ng pagkatagal-tagal. But you're right, I like the way they played. I think offensively we're looking a little better now, and ang ganda ng mga drives. Medyo sloppy dun sa una sa first half, but they settled the ship, ika nga, and onwards to a victory. Boom! I was just talking to Ricky Palou about the PVL. Exciting times ahead. What are you most looking forward to sa PVL? Of course, ipapalabas din dito sa Signal TV.
Of course. Kom, well, we're excited that sinasabi namin nung bumalik nga ang PVL last conference, we were saying that it's the best of the best. Ngayon, Kom, masasabi talaga natin the best of the best na talaga because yun nga, the addition of F2 has really made so much noise, and after this is all said and done, and not only for this conference but also in the conferences moving forward, wala nang masasabi in terms of who's going to be the best, and the collection of talent that we're going to have, talagang premier. Kung masasabi natin na Premier Volleyball League, it's the premier talents, the best of the best. Wala nang, there will be no doubt, there will be no questions. I know there's no asterisk naman when it comes to who was the champion. But of course, alam mo na, there are some people who nitpick about these things. But we're so looking forward, and hopefully there was enough time for a lot of these teams to not only prepare, but also get themselves into game shape, because as Coach Ryan and as you know, Kom, game shape is very different from just being in shape.
Tama yan.
Diba? And yun din, kung may connect ako lang dun sa Gilas, nakita natin yung mga katulad nila Dwight, at saka makikita natin mga katulad nila 30 and sila Kib. They were in game shape. They were ready to go. And as much as it was such a slow start, siguro nabiyayaan din tayo kahit papano, Kom, na India was the first team. The perfect opponent, if I may, no offense, but for us to kind of get into the groove of things dahil napakabago nga, retooled itong Gilas team natin.
Although that India team is no pushover, may mga magagaling silang player dyan, malalaki, yung si Principal. Parang parang hindi lang principal yata, yung supervisor na yun, di ba? Malaki din. All right, gentlemen, we'll talk about the NBA today dahil marami rin nag-aantay ng balita tungkol sa NBA, and alam naman natin after the All-Star weekend, ito na yung final push towards the postseason, the playoffs. Pero bago ko iwanan yung All-Star weekend, let me ask you, it was a star-studded All-Star weekend sa Cleveland. Hindi lamang sa mga players na naglaro sa All-Star game, but yung mga 75 greatest. Naku, pambihira. Coach Ryan, who was the most, kumbaga, inaabangan mo nung sa 75 greatest? And sino naman yung medyo nawawala doon sa listahan na yun para sa'yo?
And of course, when you come up with the best ever to play in the NBA, you expect everybody to just go around and give the GOAT, Michael Jordan, due respect. And that is exactly what happened. The young guys who were inspired by Michael Jordan, talk about Luka, and also there was a time Kat was also there to kumbaga pay homage to the best ever. And I know that there are a lot of questions about sino ba dapat yung kasama at nawala ron. I honestly feel na sana nandun si Klay Thompson because of his impeccable shooting and what he has done, the number of championships. Yun lang ang nawawala. Yung next pa siguro, ang top 3 ko dyan, Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady.
Oo nga, Tracy McGrady. Tama. Boom, ang bibigat ng mga pangalan binanggit ni Coach Ryan. And those are obviously legends, and they're probably in, for sure, sa top 100. But, do you feel na meron talagang nasnub dyan sa 75 greatest?
Welcome, and partner, alam naman natin, in any list, there will always be like a snub, di ba? Talagang ganyan. But ang debate always, if you're going to put in somebody, who are you going to take off, di ba? Dahil napakadaming naging produkto obviously ng NBA throughout its 75 years. I'm sure the ones who came up with that list had a hard time, had a headache, but I've always thought, and I know, Kom, we've talked about this privately, that Dwight Howard deserves to be there.
Right.
Not what we remember in the last 3 or 4 years, but how he dominated in the early years of the Orlando Magic and how he took that team into the finals. I think he deserves to be there from all his accolades, his numbers. Yun lang, syempre, in sports, meron tayong recency bias. Ganun talaga nangyayari. We don't remember the good times. Remember, di ba, the Houston, the Philly, and the LA Dwight, but I really think he deserves to be there. As for my favorite moment, other than Michael Jordan showing up, because it's such a rarity na makita natin siya in public, how about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar doing the hook? Diba? Parang he did that was beautiful.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Napakaganda ng moment na
Well, I enjoyed the hug between LeBron and Michael Jordan. I think that was a moment na talagang captured the entire thing, the present and the past, just passing on torches, and just an unbelievable time. And of course, in terms of mga nasnab, international players like Pau Gasol and Manu Ginobili, who is also going to the Hall of Fame. I think those are names that obviously will be in the top 100. Ang daming innovations, Coach Ryan, ng All-Star Weekend. Maybe the most innovations I've seen yet sa All-Star Weekend. When you look at that, alin dun sa mga innovation na yon siguro, Coach Ryan, ang pwede nating ilagay sa PBA?
Obviously, yung slam dunk contest, it's one of the worst. So, hindi yun. So, yun naman ang na-feel ng lahat ng mga fans ng NBA, even yung mga experts sa NBA, nakatulog nga si Shaq. So, it's not that. But yung skills, ang
yung
ganda ng skills na yun.
Ganda nun.
It brought a lot of, kumbaga, enthusiasm and engagement, not just of the people playing, but also yung mga nanonood. Ako, I like that. Pati yung shooting, nakakatawa lang dahil instead of a two-man shooting, naging tatlo sila. But maganda talaga yung innovation, and the NBA is really doing a good job with their creativity to add a little more flavor doon sa All-Star festivities.
Tama ka. I totally agree. Yung slam dunk, parang, I think it needs a redo. I don't know what it has to do, but parang nakita na natin lahat ng klase ng dunks. Even in the All-Star game, Boom, of course, the Elam scoring has been tremendous. Lalong-lalo na sa TV broadcasters. Both of you are, and alam naman natin, pag gumaganda na yung laban, biglang nagta-timeout, nawawala yung momentum, pati ng broadcaster. Fourth quarter, no commercials. Something that maybe the PBA can look at, Boom.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't know if it's something that we can do here. Obviously, the way US TV works and Philippine TV works in terms of advertisement and commercials, totally different, but obviously something to explore. But from a fan's perspective, take away yung ating pagka-broadcaster, but from a fan's perspective, you're always engaged with the game. Hindi katulad nung mga previous, not last year, but the last 10 years, sabihin na natin na it was the old format na you coast along through the first half, baka pwede ka kumain, mag-almusal, magkape, tas balikan mo na lang ang third quarter, fourth quarter. Ngayon, di mo na pwedeng gawin dahil marami kang aabangan. They're playing for something every time in the first quarter, second quarter, and obviously third and fourth quarter. And as for the solution for the slam dunk, I think there's only one solution. Put the stars in.
Tama.
The stars have to join.
Yeah.
And unlike before, all of the stars were super competitive. Ayaw magpatalo. Even, the Kobe's, the Vinces, the Dominic, and the Michael Jordan. We have yet to see the other guys, right?
Yeah.
Like the other stars, and I would love to see that. And kahit na hindi maging super creative yung mga dunks nila, the fact the stars are going to be there, I think that's going to be way more watchable.
Excellent point. And I can't wait to see a Jam Morant, for instance, or a Zion Williamson, diba, Coach Ryan, getting in there sa slam dunk. And that's a terrific idea, and I hope talagang mangyari sa NBA yan. All right. Now we will proceed to the how the NBA is gonna pull through. But bago yan, pasok muna natin ang mga questions namin sa Fast Take. Ang Fast Take, gentlemen, is just a minute na bibigyan namin kayo for 3 issues. Just 3 questions that we want you to answer. No right or wrong answer. Bato-bato sa langit, tamaan, huwag magagalit. And of course, ang opinion nyo ang mahalaga. Ang una naming Fast Take issue ngayong umagang ito. Ito ang tanong. Anong team sa tingin ninyo ang aarangkada sa final push patungo sa NBA playoffs? I'll begin with you, Coach Ryan. 1 minute. Go!
Well, I'm hoping that itong Philadelphia 76ers with their new acquisition na si James Harden would mesh well and play well with Joel Embiid. Obviously, not a lot of time left. What they need to do is to fast track the learning curve. The process is going to be a little challenging because very ball dominant yung dalawang players na yon. So how are they gonna balance the number of attacks, the number of scoring options for them? But obviously, when Joel Embiid gets the ball down low, with the shooting of James Harden, he can spread the floor and shoot from the outside. When Embiid is tired already, he can just give the ball to James Harden and get out of the way. So I am expecting itong Philadelphia 76ers more than Brooklyn, because in Brooklyn, they're just down with a lot of players, injuries, and of course, half a season player like Kyrie Irving will not help if he's not given that go signal to play home games.
Well, isa lang masasabi ko dyan. Go Sixers!
Okay, maglalaro ngayon, di ba?
Mamaya, Minnesota. Same issue, Boom. Same issue. Anong team ang aarangkada sa final push patungo sa NBA playoffs? 1 minute, Boom. Go!
Well, Com, number one, it will be foolish of me to go up against Coach Ryan Gregorio and go against his thoughts. That would be really foolish. But to piggyback to what he's saying, I believe Philadelphia definitely will make that push. They have less components to incorporate compared to Brooklyn na parang mas marami silang kailangan i-incorporate, I mean, in terms of that lineup. But just to steer away from that, because that's the obvious answer, I think Boston is another team that is on the rise, is on a roll. I obviously don't think they're going to make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, but in terms of a push and might scare a few teams there in the playoffs or even to the run to the playoffs, I think that is a team to look out for. And the two teams here and behind me, I know Miami is number one and number two right now. We talked about this back in October, Com. Miami is a team that a lot of people have overlooked, and they're right there on the top. So I think that's another team to look out for.
Well, I totally agree with the Celtics. In fact, ako, sa tingin ko, they have a chance in the East. I mean, they blew away Philly. They blew away Brooklyn. And, this team has been playing well. 10 winners of 10 out of 11. But, of course, so many teams now coming up. Nagpalakas pa ang Chicago. I think Denver is another team in the West that will probably come up. You're even talking about Utah now retooling. So marami yan na makikita natin as we move on to the final push. Second issue sa ating fast take. Anong team ang may malaking chance maka-pull off ng upset sa first round? I'll start with you, Boom. 1 minute. Go!
Upset in the first round, how about I'm going to go with Toronto?
Wow!
Again, we're looking at the lower seeds. They're incredibly coached. I think they have a great coach. Obviously, Nick Nurse, a champion coach. They have given a lot of the tougher teams, upper echelon teams, a lot of problems with their length and with their size and their switchability, which, as Coach Ryan and Coach Com, in the NBA is everything right now, positionless basketball. So I think, and that's the reason why I think Boston has also climbed up the ladder. I think Toronto is going to upset someone in the first round. Of course, we all know playoffs are dependent on matchups also, depende kung sino. Minsan mabibiyayaan ka ng magandang matchup. And if Toronto gets the right matchup, like teams like Miami and Chicago, they're going to have a hard time against Coach Nick Nurse.
Interesting point. And, Toronto has also been very hot. Ang ganda ng pagbabalik ni Siakam. Fred VanVleet has been playing well. Same issue, Coach Ryan. Anong team ang may malaking chance maka-pull off ng upset sa first round? 1 minute, Coach Ryan. Go!
Oh, this is obviously a sentimental choice. I've been watching and I've been following. In fact, I bleed purple and gold. So I'm just hoping that the Lakers would come along really well here in the second half after the All-Star break. It's going to be tough with the injury again of a street clothes AD. And they're just having a hard time playing together, LeBron and the Westbrook. But who knows? It can be a good springboard for them. The performance of LeBron in the All-Star with that winning basket. Hopefully things will mesh out well. A lot of injuries, a lot of different combinations. It's tougher for Vogel to come up with a certain comfort level and a level of stability because of a lot of injuries happening. But if they can just survive the play-in tournament, I don't think they're going to make the top 8. But who knows? They beat number 9 and make it in the top 8 via the back door. They go up against Phoenix. Who knows? Things can happen. They'll go in the second round and they'll make it to the finals again.
Well, mabigat yung tatahakin ng LA with AD out for a couple of weeks. Hopefully, he gets back into the playoffs. Pero I commiserate with you, Coach Ryan. Pero ako ang pinipili ko. I think, of course, aside from what you've already said, Atlanta is out of the top 8 right now. They are in the play-in, pero I have a feeling that Atlanta still has a chance. This is a team that's intact. At merong player, of course, Trae Young, that I think can explode at any time. If John Collins can get healthy and Capella can get healthy, I think this team probably can make it back.
Depende sa matchup.
Oh, depende sa matchup yan. And of course, that's the upset that we're looking at. All right, third and final take of the morning, gentlemen. Anong team ang may malaking chance? Sino ang nakikita niyong X factor sa mga top contending teams? I'll begin with you, Coach Ryan. 1 minute. Go.
For Phoenix, they've been playing great basketball all throughout. The problem is the health of Chris Paul. He hurt his thumb again. It always happens to him. Pag malapit na yung second round or third round, he always gets hurt. But as far as playing consistent basketball, playing as one unit, chemistry-wise, cohesion, great offensive system, and fantastic defensive schemes, Phoenix with a healthy Chris Paul will obviously be back in the finals of the Western Conference and all the way to the NBA Finals. I just hope na good luck will prevail for the Phoenix Suns with their head coach, Monty Williams, who's coaching his best basketball ever. And it's just tough because alam mo na nandoon na sila eh. Pero bigla na naman may setback because of Chris Paul. But when Chris Paul comes back after 6 weeks and they're still okay, I think they have a legitimate chance of winning the NBA championship.
Well, sana nga at hindi pa nananalo si Chris Paul, and we certainly for a Hall of Fame career like his, importanteng makakuha ng isang championship ring si CP3. Boom, same issue. Sino nakikita mong X factor para sa mga top contending teams? 1 minute, Boom. Go.
Okay, I have two quick answers for that, Com. And the other one is yung sanang makalaban ng Phoenix Suns in the finals, the Golden State Warriors. The X factor, in my opinion, Draymond Green.
Wow.
Without Draymond Green, there will be no Golden State run. That's my opinion, regardless of how hot Steph shoots, regardless of how Clay recovers and steps up, and all the other components that GSW has. Draymond Green is the engine of that team. He is the man that makes that team go. And he's also like the coach in that team other than Steve Kerr. So I think that's a big deal depending on how healthy he will be when he returns. The other one from the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe not a popular answer, but I'll go with it. Bam Adebayo, he will, I think, with all the components of Miami from a defensive standpoint, if Bam Adebayo continues to be aggressive the way he has been since his return, Miami has a chance of at least being in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, those are names na talagang aabangan ko. Ako, isa lang ang akin, Willie Cauley-Stein. Para sa Philadelphia. Back up ni Joel Embiid. Baka mamaya ma-injure yung bata namin eh. All right. Guys, you know, I know that you're talking about the finals already, and we know who are contending. Phoenix in the West, and ang dami sa East, Chicago, Miami, Philly. Cleveland has been a terrific team. Ano ang personal finals dream matchup ninyo? Coach Ryan, ikaw muna.
I want to see Miami again because of the coaching of Eric Spoelstra. But I see also the Chicago Bulls being coached well by Billy Donovan. Unfortunately, they're a fragile team right now. A lot of injuries from their key players, Lonzo, Caruso, and also Zach LaVine. But in the end, I want to see a Miami and a Golden State Warriors.
Wow.
If only if the Lakers can't make it.
Sige. Pagbibigyan natin yung Lakers dyan, baka makasingit pa. Boom, anong personal finals dream matchup mo for this season?
Okay, what I think, I ganda nung sinabi ni Coach Ryan kasi yun din sana sasagot ko. In terms of the coaching, if there's yung coaching, let's say, yun nga sabi, Steve Kerr versus Eric Spoelstra in the finals would be brilliant. You know, the two USA basketball coaches, the two savants, diba? And now, parang sila na yung mga long-term coaches in their franchises in the NBA. But I wouldn't mind a Eric Spoelstra versus Monty Williams matchup.
Wow.
Either. Those are two brilliant minds. I think those are two teams that are definitely motivated because of what has happened last year for two different reasons, diba? One got kicked out via a sweep in the first round after going to the finals the year before in Miami, and of course the bitterness of the losing in the finals last year of Phoenix. So Monty and Eric were going at it. Maganda yan, and syempre doon tayo sa Pinoy.
Siyempre, kailangan natin makita si Eric Spoelstra dahil pupunta yan dito pagdating ng FIBA World Cup.
At sana makakuha naman siya ng Coach of the Year. I mean, he has not won. Five times in the finals, he has not won a Coach of the Year. It's crazy.
Well, ako, personally, of course, I want Philly to be there, but if I'm just looking at it from an NBA, a league-wide thing, I'd like a Cleveland-Memphis finals. I mean, can you imagine an exciting finals between these young players, Mobley, Garland, Ja Morant, and JJJ? Unbelievable. Yeah, that will be really exciting to see all of these teams, yung mga franchises na small markets, but they're coming up and they're playing without, the big, huge superstars that we always admire. Before I let you go, gentlemen, isang issue lang. LeBron is at the top of his game, pero wala siyang katulong. He's looking at moving. He's been talking about that. But more importantly, pinag-uusapan niya yung paglalaro kasama ng kanyang anak na si Bronny. Coach Ryan, maniniwala ka ba na si LeBron will play even for a small market team kasama ng kanyang anak?
I think that's gonna be a dream for him. It has not been done before, I believe, and usually we see a combination of a coach and a player na mag-ama, pero yung ganito, it will just increase the legendary status of LeBron James. But obviously also, it's gonna be heavy. It's going to be a huge burden also for Bronny. He will always be compared. But he has done tremendous things in the entirety of his career. And kung ito ang kanyang, kumbaga, last sentence as a basketball player, si LeBron, then that is really good as part of the narrative of the LeBron James story.
Unbelievable. Boom, obviously, LeBron will have a lot of critics about that, but he will also have a lot of fans that will be saying, that's the way you take care of a son.
Well, for my personal friends, my private friends, they know this. I'm not lying about this. I guess 2017, 2018, I told them, I have a feeling that LeBron will wait for his son to get to the NBA, and it's all happening. And then and we know LeBron. He has been accused of chasing records, padding numbers, and all. This is the record to chase, to actually play with your son. Nobody has ever done that, I think, in the history of the NBA, and to play at the top level too. And of course, this is all part and parcel of LeBron increasing the stock of his son when he comes to the NBA. Dahil ngayon pa lang, he's already sending that warning signal to everybody else na, okay, if you get my son, you're gonna get me. Package deal also, regardless of how old I am, I'm still LeBron James. So it would be kind of LeBron or not, but to see a father and son, and not as a novelty, diba, in the league, that would be tremendous.
Kahit saan mo dalhin si LeBron, he will certainly sell jerseys. Yes, he will certainly sell the league. And obviously, that kind of history-making move with his son, that'll be some kind of an attraction for everyone to watch.
He's already selling his son right now.
Pero sabi nga ni Coach Ryan, ang laking pressure niyan para kay Bronny. Well, gentlemen, naubusan tayo ng oras, but it's been fun. Coach Ryan, I will watch you in the New Zealand game, obviously. What can we expect? Bago ka umalis, what can we expect sa New Zealand?
We have to start better. It's not like we can have a very slow start and still contend against a world powerhouse like New Zealand. And alam natin yan, yung tama yung sinabi ni Boom kanina, swerte tayo na pwede tayo kumbaga mag-practice lang ng first quarter, second quarter against India. But pagdating dito sa New Zealand, first quarter pa lang, opening tip pa lang, we have to play our A game. And I am just excited. And we know that there are a lot of expectations for our Gilas program, and we expect a good matchup against the Kiwis.
All right. Boom, I know you're still in Singapore, but do the fans expect you to do the PVL games?
Oh yes, definitely. I'll be back for PVL. I'll be back also for the UAP when it starts.
Tama. Oh, that's
but,
right.
Yes,
Oh.
which is exactly a month from now, February 26 ngayon, diba? So it's exactly a month from now. But I'll be watching Coach Ryan. I love listening to the commentary yesterday with, of course, our friend Chuck. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow. And of course, go Philippines!
Go Philippines indeed. Maraming salamat, Boom, and Coach Ryan for joining us this morning. Stay safe. See you soon sa mga laro. Maraming salamat. Mga kaibigan, live from Singapore, Boom Gonzalez, and of course, ang aking kaibigan, Coach Ryan Gregorio sa ating Fast Take Extended ngayong umagang ito. Wow, napakasaya. Ang ganda ng NBA. Of course, NBA Catch the NBA action dito po sa Signal, sa One Sports, and of course sa TV5. Bago tayo mag-commercial gap, short break muna tayo para sumilip sa ating pop culture at viral videos sa mundo ng palakasan sa ating Stop and Pop. Maraming bagay ang delikado pag wala sa lugar. Lalong-lalo na kung hindi mo alam kung ano ang parating. Panoorin nyo lamang itong videong ito. Na ika nga mga maraming nagulat. Dahil ito pong videong ito ay tungkol sa isang mama na akala niya dahil paboritong-paborito niya ang soccer, hindi pala bola ng football ang kanyang header. Panoorin po natin yung video. Ayan, makikita nyo. Yung mama may hawak na bowling ball. Ang nangyari, nalaglag yung bowling ball sa kalye, napababa. Gumulong, tumalbog. Akala nung isang mama na mahilig sa soccer, akong bahala, babalik ko sa'yo. Inulo yung bowling ball. Patay kang bata ka. At yan po ang nangyari, tuloy-tuloy na sa kanyang huling hantungan. Talagang mahirap na hindi mo alam ang iyong inuulo pagka dumating na ang panahon. Yan po ang ating Stop and Pop moment sa Power and Play. We will take a quick break. Sa aming pong pagbabalik, ang ating makakapanayam, ang ating pole vault champion, EJ Obiena, sa Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, at ng Chooks to Go. Ang oras po natin, 5 minuto makaraan ang ikasyam ng umaga. This time check is brought to you by Birmingham Subdivisions. Come home to Birmingham.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai Stories on Twitter and share yours. With Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day. Plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice na swak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Basta man siya, di kailangan ng mamahaling panlaba.
Sa surf, linis ay todo at aming best ever bango. Ang surf na gamit nyo na with our best ever bango. Sa surf, linis ay todo at aming best ever bango. Ang surf na gamit nyo, todo linis at aming best ever bango.
New Surf with Active Clean with our best ever bango versus previous formulations. Todo linis na singgaling ng mamahalin based on technical test versus Brand X powder and polyester.
Ang surf na gamit nyo, todo linis at aming best ever bango.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Cherry Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Basta man siya, di kailangan ng mamahaling panlaba.
Sa surf, linis ay todo at aming best ever bango. Ang surf na gamit nyo na with our best ever bango. Sa surf, linis ay todo at aming best ever bango. Ang surf na gamit nyo, todo linis at aming best ever bango.
New Surf with Active Clean with our best ever bango versus previous formulations. Todo linis na singgaling ng mamahalin based on technical test versus Brand X powder and polyester.
Ang surf na gamit nyo, todo linis at aming best ever bango.
Power and Play. Game na sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Magandang umaga po lahat. Muli sa inyo lahat mga kaibigan. Gusto ko lang pong magpasalamat ngayon sa puntong ito sa ating mga tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. Maraming po salamat of course sa Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon mga kapatid. Sobrang init tapos biglang uulan. Kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak ang pangmatagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong di kalidad na yerong may aluminum, yan ang Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero, Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Cherry Tigo, saluhin ang swerteng hatid ng Year of the Tiger on a brand new Tiger 2 Pro crossover with Cherry's Year of the Growling Tigo promo sa halagang 68,000 low down payment. May sporty 5-seater ka na safe in any road condition dahil mas mataas ang ground clearance nito kaysa sedan. Spacious din ang seats at legroom kaya mas komportable mapa-driver or passenger. May 9-inch infotainment system pa na pwedeng i-connect sa MirrorLink and Apple CarPlay para sa mas convenient at chill na travel mo. Pili na from the 6 lucky colors of Tigo 2 Pro: Passion Orange, Lava Red, Graphite Gray, Vivid White, Tuscan Beige, at Laser Yellow. #move for more colors and adventure. Bisitahin ang www.cherryauto.ph to know more about the fun to drive Tigo 2 promo. Chooks to go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Chooks to go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Magpadala with confidence kahit para sa negosyo o personal. Bulk deliveries man yan. Kayang-kaya yan i-deliver securely with Joyride. Ngayon po, meron na rin ang Joyride na sa simulan na Joyride Car. Kaya download the latest Joyride Super App now. Elms Kapihan and Resto Bar, Elms Seafood Paluto. Yan po ay of course matatagpuan sa Kalye Bistro, Ever Commonwealth, Quezon City. The latest offering ng Elms Resto Bar, enjoy their delectable seafood menu in a relaxed casual dining atmosphere for your salo-salo seafood meal. Visit also Carlito Sisig Seafood Paluto along Shaw Boulevard. Marami din po salamat of course sa Skin, your face and body anti-aging center. It's the beginning of the year kaya po magpunta na sa Skin, located at Alabang Town Center at sa Green Hills, San Juan. For your skin assessments and treatment schedule, call 0917-890-1640 o 0977-809-8886. Birmingham Subdivisions. Come home to Birmingham, located at Antipolo, Cainta, General Trias, Cavite, Marikina, Pasig, Rodriguez, San Mateo at Tagaytay. building community since 1984. Celebrate your new home, your home in Birmingham subdivisions. Check out their Facebook page or call 0939-921-7458, 891-27-731. Asea Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences, and gastronomic adventures. Asea Subic Beach Resort. Marami ding salamat po, of course, sa Lick Hobby, Weave by Weave, hand in hand. Check out their IG pages. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Maraming salamat po. Alright, at this point mga kaibigan, ipapasok ko na po ang aking panayam sa ating kampyon, Olympian at pole vault champion, nakapananalo lamang ng 2 gold medals doon po sa Europa. Parehong sa Poland, yung Orlen Cup at yung Copernicus Cup. And he talks about his views on the mediation with Patafa. Ito po ang ating panayam sa Power and Play with our champion, EJ Obiena. And I'm so happy to have with us on the show today, walang iba kundi ang ating Olympic pole vaulter and of course, champion pole vaulter, EJ Obiena. EJ, thank you for joining us. I know you're very busy. It's been a while, but I'm happy to see you and thank you again for joining us on Power and Play.
Thank you so much, Kom, and always it's a pleasure.
Alam ko that you came from a competition and I guess congratulations are in order. You won another gold medal for the Philippines in the Copernicus Cup in Poland. Of course, you won before that in the Orlen Cup, also in Poland. You won 2 of your last 3 starts. How does it feel to be starting? Are you surprised by the way you're starting the tour, considering that you are coming off an injury?
I'm surprised that I'm winning. Let's just say that I'm a bit disappointed with the heights that I'm clearing, but I'm surprised that I'm still winning. Really, especially this last one. I was mentally struggling, but I was God willing, you know.
Well, you mentioned the heights, but of course, right now you are getting the medals at 5.81 meters. You have won 2 gold medals already in this tour in the season. And as I mentioned, this has been really a pleasant surprise for all of us after seeing that you came off an injury. What has been the key so far to your performance, EJ?
My coach, he has this just experience, he knew it. He knew that, okay, pull off that first meet and it's gonna hurt you more than it's gonna help you. Then he said, we need to train, we need to kind of get into it and get confident as well. And then my first meet was 570. It's not bad, but it's not great. Then the next meet again, I jumped 570, and at that time I already started to feel like, hey, I can jump 80. I know I can still pull off that. And he's right. Then the next meet I jumped 80 and I was close to 90. And then something happened and then, in between those days, I was kind of searching for myself. But then coach said that in the middle of the competition in Toru, he said, "You're here to compete or what?" So I tell you, he's my. I'm really depending on him right now, and big time. And right now he's having some issues, because of the Ukraine thing, and I'm to be there for him as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, talking about that, and digressing just a little bit, how is he? How is he taking this situation in Ukraine? And of course, does he have a family that he's concerned about? And how are you supporting in that sense, EJ?
Yeah, so he flew back earlier here in Italy, and he actually picked me up in the airport. And yeah, before he picked me up, I called him around 7:30 before my flight, and I was like, "Hey, how are you? Is there anybody there?" And he said, "Yeah, I just saw the news." Because it broke late at night, so he didn't really know until early in the morning, and then you can hear it from his voice. He's worried, but then I asked him, "Hey, is there anything that we can do?" It's maybe they can drive out Poland. So some of his friends and family are already trying to get a car, and it's not easy. All flights are grounded, so
Right.
some guys are trying to get cars and just really drive out of Ukraine at the moment. And I believe one of his, I'm not sure if a cousin, they just made sure that they're under the ground, some kind of bunker.
Wow.
So it's not a pleasant thing, you know. It puts perspective what's actually important, which is, you know, family and life. So yeah, a little bit.
It's really tough right now, and we certainly pray and hope Coach Petrov and his family, and you know, all the people that he loves in Ukraine will be okay. And obviously, we are with him as we pray for that. EJ, you are winning early in this season in your calendar. What is more of your objective right now, this early in the season? Is it really winning the medals or reaching the heights that you want? What are you more focused at the moment?
I mean, I always want to jump more, but you know, my mindset going into meets, competition, championship is to win. So the same mindset goes, and that's why I've just said, you know, I'm confused in a way that I'm still winning, but you know, I think that's the competitiveness. You know, like as I said, in competition, you don't really know until the end of the meet who's gonna win. Yeah, I'm more focused on that, but I want to jump high, and I have a couple of days before my next competition, so hopefully I'll get the pulse that I need, and praying I can jump high.
Isn't that so? I mean, motivating that, you know, early in the season, and you're not even, you know, you don't know what's going on. You're not jumping the heights that you want, and yet you're winning medals. It must be a good feeling for you. Na kahit papano, you're still making it. We know that your personal record, of course, the Asian record is 5.93 meters. You've been winning at 5.81 meters. So, what are you adjusting here to get to that level, to those records, of at least to that height, closer to that height, as we progress in the season?
Yeah, my main issue is my pole right now. I damaged one in Lodz. The one that I used to jump 80 there was damaged because one of my attempts, it hit the platform really badly, and it nicked it. So there's a big risk of it snapping. So that's one. I need to kind of work around it. So actually in Torun, I borrowed Tiago's pole. One of the pole, at least one of the poles I borrowed that it's not the same, but you know, you need to make do of it. So I'm trying to call people and really trying. Maybe I need to drive like 6 hours out and try to get a pole there. So that's how do you say? That's my current status.
All right. Well, you know, in one of your interviews, EJ, nabanggit mo that you know, this victory that you are experiencing now in the Orland Cup, in the Copernicus, is actually a testament to how you have managed adversity, quote unquote. And you know, obviously, what you're going through, the challenges that everyone knows about with Patafa, is something that is you know, deeply burdening you. But how have you converted that particular adversity to give you this kind of, you know, performance and victory? Are you using this as a motivation to prove something?
I mean, maybe deep down there is, but you know, it's more distracting than actually motivating, if I'm going to be honest. So I think it's just a matter of really compartmentalizing, and that's where my psychologist goes in, and like how my team just says, you know, just divert that, like leave that. It's not an easy thing, as you can see. You know, my performance is not stable, and I go up and down, up and down. There are days that I'm successful in focusing in the meet. There are days that my head is not in the game, and it's a work in progress. And I just hope, you know, it gets over, because I can't really I can't do this forever. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to channel that positively, not in a way that is vengeful, but more in a way that, you know, I need to just keep jumping and keep showing, you know, the Filipino people that I truly care and I really want to represent Philippines in the world, and you know that I'm still here, I'm still fighting. I don't want to accept that fact yet.
I don't want to talk about the merits of what is going on. A lot of things have been said about that, and I certainly do not want to add on to it. But I want to talk about a recent development, a recent a statement from the Patafa that you have been left off the Southeast Asian Games master list submitted to the PSC. You know, which technically means you are not part of the list that is supposed to be submitted for the Southeast Asian Games. Your reaction to this, EJ?
I'm just sad about it, you know. This is what, like Tuesday, I believe it was released. The statement was released, and I already submitted myself to mediation, and I thought we're like trying to have some kind of reconciliation, some rapprochement per se, and them making such statements just shows that there's no intent of resolving the issue or even just reconciliation. And that's how I see it, because the way they said it, it's like, yeah, he asked some other people's help and let's see what works. I don't want to make it worse, and I don't want to show, and I shouldn't. But you know, we're one country. We're as a sporting body, the country, we want to win medals for the country, and I think that should be the number one priority, especially if, you know, everybody has already called it. And I mean, may it be whatever. I mean, I've said my piece in the Senate. He said his multiple times, and yeah, I just don't find it. It's hard to take it positively. Let's just say that you know, some kind of rapprochement is actually right around the corner, but it's difficult to see that with those statements.
I want to pick up from there because you have mentioned in the joint legislative inquiry that you are all in. And I quote you, I'm all in when it comes to mediation. And you said that the only thing you ask is that there should be a sign of reconciliation and a sign that they actively want this. Now, I mentioned about you being left off in the list, but see, Chairman Rufus Rodriguez of the Patafa has said naman, on the other hand, that you have not been expelled from the roster of Patafa. How do you connect the dots here? What is your, how do you make sense of these conflicting statements? And does this take something away from mediation, or you are still confident that mediation is the right path?
At the moment, I follow the call of the Senate to submit myself to mediation, and my main withholdment with mediation previously is I would not be able to tell my truth as it is a closed door. The moment I was able to do that, as you quoted me just now, I'm all in. When it comes to the board of Patafa, I mean, those conflicting statements, I would find it a little bit off-putting, and I'm really hoping that the body itself actually understands that the athletes are track and field, and you know, I'm really hoping that in some shape or form they do or make a decision of I would say like that makes the country proud, and you know, just do the right thing. That's my take on it. I'm not really sure exactly why it's conflicting, but from what I understand, what Mr. Rufus Rodriguez has said is that I'm not kicked out of the
that's
group.
right. That's
But
right.
then I'm not receiving any funding because I'm not part of the team. So I'm just I myself don't really fully comprehend it. I'm sorry. I'm here training. I'm since September. Since
Right.
none of this was happening, I haven't received any funding.
Mhm.
So I really just hope that they do what is right.
Well, Chairman Butch Ramirez has also talked, and he has already said that, and I'd like to quote him directly. Butch Ramirez said that the parties, in order to end this rift, must take a step backwards and humble themselves enough to patch things up. Do you agree with this suggestion of Chairman Butch?
Of course. I mean, how can I not? And I believe I humbled myself by bending a knee and submitting my. I'm a very outspoken person. As an athlete, we all are a bit. We have that pride. We have that. We're a bit hard-headed. Yeah, that's one of, I believe, one of the things that makes a really good athlete. But we need to be realistic, and we need to be, how do you say, from time to time, take a step back and understand the situation. And submitting myself to mediation, I think, is a big sign that I want peace, and I want this to be settled. And another thing about that is that I'm trying. I'm knocking on the door. I'm literally trying to find way to get this over in some shape or form, put it in the past. But egos and names were damaged. But as Chairman Ramirez said, you need to be humble. Humility should be the number one guiding factor in this now. So I'm sticking to it until I can.
All right. Well, I admire you. I can feel the pain in your voice, but I certainly admire you for what you are going through and how you are handling this now, and heeding the call of many of our leaders, not only in sports but also in government now. But I guess the question here, given all of this, are you still interested and confident that you will be able to play in the Southeast Asian Games?
Positively, I'm believing in it, and I'm pushing for it. And I think the closest competition that I'm actually gonna have is the World Indoor Championship in less than a month. So I'm still hoping that I'm gonna get lined up. I'm hoping that I'll be able to represent the country that I'm born and raised in. That's how I'm gonna just take it positively, and believe that the right thing is gonna happen.
All right. Well, moving forward, EJ, in that same Senate inquiry, as many senators spoke up. Senator Francis Tolentino, of course, Senator Drilon said, let the COA, the Commission on Audit, do their job. Senator Pia Cayetano mentioned about there must be more adequate guidelines on reimbursement, sponsorship of national athletes. My question is, what is your take? What do you think, moving forward, should be the best procedure when it comes to matters like this, so that this issue will not rear its ugly head in the future again?
I think first things first, athlete's job is to train, compete. That's it. Everything else, as my coach has said, is a distraction. And I truly believe that in some shape or form. I'm not saying that athletes should not do all these things, but I believe it should be avoided. If there's someone that could take it, and I think that's the core issue here. That's the main problem, that a job that I was not supposed to do was somehow dropped to me. And it was a clear, how do you say, it's a clear additional burden to an athlete to disburse payments to his team. The main idea, I believe, is just, make sure the athletes are able to train and do what they need to do, and all the administrative work hopefully will be shouldered and by the admin, the admins of the NSA, and the people who I believe should be doing those those positions and not the athlete.
You mentioned kanina, EJ, na even your expenses are now very difficult without the PSC, without you being placed in the master list that will compete, and we don't know if you're there. How are you handling your funding? How are you coping at the moment, EJ?
Perfect time for me to thank my people, huh? So first I want to say thank you to my alumni. Actually, Chiang Kai-shek College has been backbone of this this circuit at the moment. They're the one funding me. My titos in Ateneo and USD, they're shelling out their own money just funding me, and a lot of different people too, and of course my sponsors. May I promote already? I already hear
Sure.
Puno, Vital, Allianz, Porsche Design, Summit Drinking Water. These are the one that are currently making sure that I'm able to eat 3 times a day, able to train, able to compete. And
I was following your Instagram posts and diverting also a little bit. You just posted about a young kid who just joined you in your 5-meter club, and you seem like you're so you're so buoyed up by his performance. You're so hyped with his with what he has done. Hackett de Los Santos, what is your reaction? EJ, sa performance ni Hackett, reaching the heights that only you and one other person has ever done in the Philippines.
Wow, I mean, for a kid like him to do it at such a young age and having all this difficulty and deliver such a performance, I'm humbled and I'm very proud of him, and it inspires me. It's a bit odd. I heard the news around like 7 in the morning. And I was actually just traveling back in a bus full of athletes. And then I was in the call and it didn't sink in yet. And then I just, I remember the time that I actually started, I vaulted over 5 meters. And I can finally say I have jumped over 5 meters. And that feeling and that, it sank in, and I felt very happy, but at the same time, I appreciate the journey of it, and started crying a bit, and people were like, "What happened?" It was just like, it might not be big for you guys, like here in the Europe, but we just had the 3rd Filipino over 5 meters, and in the history of sport, there's only 3 guys, and that is something, and I'm very proud of him, and I'm gonna make sure that he gets all the possible support that he could get. I've known the kid since he was starting up. He's from Isabela, so I knew him since he was a kid when he was staying back in our place, and we did SEA Games together. Just proud of him, man.
You got a protege. Worst comes to worst that you don't get to compete in the SEA Games. There is a guy now that can hopefully carry the flag as well for us. You got a new kid in town. EJ, plans moving forward. How many more events do you have on the series in the tour? And what is next up for you?
My coach just wanted me to compete one more before World Indoors. Hopefully I'll be able to do World Indoors. So that will be the 5th of March in France, in Rouen, where the world champions are going to be there. The American record holder is going to be there. Tiago's going to be there, the who's of the who. And I'm hoping to jump good there. The next will be World Indoor. It's a championship level competition, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be lined up because I already qualified multiple times. I believe more than 10 times I've hit the marks.
And you will, of course, be carrying the flag of the Philippines. With or without the patafa?
I hope with patafa.
Yeah,
That
me too.
Said there,
Very good. Well, EJ, before I let you go, I know that it's time for you also to get ready. But let me ask you, you're carrying so much burden you are competing, at a very high level, even after an injury, and motivating yourself. What keeps you going throughout all of these challenges? Given all of those distractions, what keeps you going to meet your challenges every day?
I don't have a single answer to that right now. There's not a single motivation that I'm currently holding on. But I think the event and the sport has become way bigger than me, and it actually is even bigger than the country. Not the country, but just the national level of the sport. And I think that's one of it. I just don't represent Philippines right now. I represent everyone who stood up and fight for what they believe is right. And that's one thing that I truly am proud of, and that's something that I'm holding dearly. That's why I do that. And at the same time, why I'm still here and why I'm still continuing, it's a simple thing, at least for me. I owe the country. I owe the Filipino people. The way I perform in Tokyo is not how they deserve to be represented in the world stage. And it is something that I want to be able to have a redo or redeem myself and represent the country better in that level of competition. And that would be Paris for me. So I'm still single-mindedly focused on that. And I do want to win a medal for the country. And I do want some vindication of my performance in Tokyo, which I truly feel that I failed the country. So it's
Yan po mga kaibigan ang ating panayam with EJ Obiena, ang ating champion pole vaulter. We certainly wish him all the best sa World Indoors and of course sa mga susunod pa niyang mga laban, lalong-lalo na sana makalaro siya sa Southeast Asian Games. Of course, the latest is the POC has said that they will do everything para makalaro si EJ sa Southeast Asian Games. And we are also hoping na matapos na itong bangayan at magawa na ng mediation ang dapat nilang gawin para sa kaso ni EJ at ng Patafa. Alright mga kaibigan, we will take a quick break sa aming pong pagbabalik. In the spotlight, ang weightlifting kasama ng presidente ng Philippine Weightlifting Association, si Mr. Monico Puentevella. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo at ng Chooks to Go.
Basta man siya, di kailangan ng mamahaling panlaba.
Sa surf, linis ay todo at aming best ever bango. Ang surf na gamit nyo na with our best ever bango. Sa surf, linis ay todo at aming best ever bango. Ang surf na gamit nyo, todo linis at aming best ever bango.
New Surf with Active Clean. With our best ever bango versus previous formulations. Todo linis na singgaling ng mamahalin based on technical test versus Brand X powder and polyester.
Ang surf na gamit nyo, todo linis at aming best ever bango.
Sa Mayo 9, muling haharap ang Pilipinong botante sa pinakamalaki at pinakamahalagang desisyon na kanilang gagawin para sa sarili, sa pamilya at sa bayan. Nakapag-isip ka na bang mabuti kung kanino mo ipagkakatiwala ang iyong boto? Samahan sina Ted Filon at DJ Chacha sa ating pagkilala at pagkilatis sa mga kandidatong naghahangad na maging susunod na Pangulo at pangalawang Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Serve the people. Serve the people. Sino ang karapat-dapat sa boto ng Pilipino? Live na mapapakinggan simula Pebrero 28, alas 8 ng umaga sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM. Simulcast sa 1PH on Signal TV, Facebook page ng Radyo 5 at YouTube channel ng News 5 Everywhere. Serve the people. Sino ang karapat-dapat sa boto ng Pilipino? Huwag na huwag palalampasin.
Pagsapit ng alas 5:30 ng hapon, nagbabagang balita at impormasyong dapat malaman. Mainit na ihahati mula sa frontlines. Mas maagang pagbabalita para una kayong makasagap ng mga impormasyong dapat nyong malaman. Mapagkakatiwalaan, maaasahan at patas sa pagbabalita. Yan ang hatid ng Frontline Pilipinas. Mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 5:30 p.m. Live dito sa TV5. Stay at home at stay tuned sa mga palabas na good vibes at happiness ang hatid tuwing linggo. Dahil oras na para sa Family Sundate dito sa TV5. Kaya tawagin na ang buong pamilya para sa lakas na pambihira na hatid ng inaabangang laro ng bayan. PBA Governors Cup, 4 p.m. at 6:45 p.m.
Mikey off the crossover. Will get that.
Together with your buong angkan, huwag din palagpasin ang mga bigating pelikula sa Cine Spotlight 9 p.m.
Tara.
Big music at mala-concert na showdown ang dapat sabayan ng whole family sa M Countdown, 11 p.m. Let's go! Sagot na namin ang fun day nyo together with all your kamag-anakan tuwing linggo dito sa Family Sundate sa TV5.
Sa ilalim ng quarantine, anong buhay ba ang in-store?
Stuck at home?
With plans? O with plans?
Sa work, nakalock-in ka ba?
O from home lang? O paubos na VL mo?
Sa gathering?
Group yourselves into 10 lang.
Sa pagkain, pa-deliver?
O from a distance join-in?
O team lutong bahay?
Sa jeepney? Ala sige, waluhan po yan. Pero apatan lang ba muna? Bagong gawin!
Mga bagay na dapat makasanayan sa new normal. Ang buhay na dapat harapin para ma-survive ang pandemya at pagsubok.
Because life goes on!
With face mask and face shield.
Kasama sina Laila Chicadora at Mon Gualvez.
Bagong gawin!
Monday to Friday, alas 4 hanggang alas 6 in the morning.
Dating gawi ka pa ba?
Move on na sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taon pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Noli Eala Power and Play sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Sa ating pong patuloy na pag-feature ng mga National Sports Associations, ngayong araw pong ito, muli nating itatampok ang isa sa mga medal-rich patungo sa Southeast Asian Games. Ito po ang ating In the Spotlight. At ang ating pong itatampok ngayon sa ating In the Spotlight, walang iba kundi ang larong weightlifting. At ang makakasama natin ang presidente ng Philippine Weightlifting Association. Kaibigan ko po yan, si Mr. Monico Puentevella. Magandang umaga, Monico.
Mayong aga, Noli.
Mayong aga.
Po sa inyong lahat. Mayong aga.
Good to see you, Monico. You look young. Mukha kang hindi tumatanda.
Naglalaro pa rin tennis, nanonood ng PBA, nanonood sa'yo.
Very good.
Basta sports, buhay na buhay.
Buhay talaga. At ngayon, buhay na dahil nagbabalik na uli ang sigla ng sports with the fans back. But of course, pinag-uusapan natin ang weightlifting, Monico, and weightlifting was the most successful last year with our first Olympic gold medal na binigay sa atin ni Heidelin Diaz. It was not easy. Matagal niyong binunuyan. But ang tanong ko, Monica, is this. Anong impact ng pagkapanalo ni Heidelin sa weightlifting? Dumami ba ang interest? At how are you leveraging yung success na yon para sa grassroots development?
Ang maalala mo sa Bible, yung sinasabi, build a temple and they shall come. So ang sinabi ko pa noon, win a gold and they shall come. So mayaman na ngayon ang ating bata, si Heidi, for winning the gold. Tapos marami. And then I promise you, my friend Noli, bantayan mo sa Paris Olympics uli. Because there are other new girls aside from Heidelin because Heidelin has paid her dues to this country. She already won a silver in Rio, won a gold in Tokyo. She will try to be in Paris, but I tell you, there will also be new girls on the podium. Baka sakaling with the help of God Almighty, baka makakuha tayo ng bagong mga bata. Vanessa Sarno, you have Cristel Macrohon, you have Elrin Ando, the Olympian in Tokyo. Then you have about 4 to 5 girls for Paris Olympic. So this will keep your program interested on the Paris podium.
Absolutely. Talagang tututukan natin yan. And in fact, nagsimula na itong paggamit ninyo ng mga kabataan para sa ating weightlifting program in the World Weightlifting Championships. Ang pinadala nyo doon ay, andun yung mga veterano na binanggit mo, Monico, yung si Elrin Ando, Vanessa Sarno. Pero andun din yung mga bata, no? Katulad ng isang batang-batang 19-year-old na si Fernando Agad, andun si John Tabique, si Dave Pacaldo. Anong assessment mo sa performance ng ating team, Sir Monico, lalong-lalo na now that you are preparing for the Southeast Asian Games?
Mabigat ang men's category, but we will try to have, hopefully some medal sa SEA Games sa Vietnam. Sa babae, sigurado magkakaroon because here we already had two gold medals and 2 silvers. Sa palagay ko sa Vietnam, Heidelin will get 1, Ando will probably get hopefully 1, Vanessa Sarno will probably get 1, that's 3 already. Ang mga lalaki, we will try because there are new guys. Mabigat lang, Noli, ang mga panglalaking kategory. Mabigat talaga. Advanced na sila noon pa. But there are now new male lifters, mga lalaki na parang may kinabukasan din. So I'm hoping 1 or 2 will win some medals in Vietnam. But in Paris, kasi ang goal ko kasi parati is more of the Olympics. Hindi ako masyado...
Pang-Olympics ka na ngayon, Monico. Hindi mo na masyadong wino-worry ang Southeast Asian Games, ha?
Noon pa, pare. I'll be honest with you. Noon pa, I never really reckoned with Asian. With modesty aside, no? Huwag nyo lang pasasamain. Pero those who are listening, pero my goal was always the Olympics. It was never the Asian Games nor the SEA Games. Well, for me, they are stepping stones. Itong dalawa, stepping stone lang yan. Ang pinapangarap ko talaga, ang Olympics, at nakuha ko ng gold. Sa totoo lang, gusto ko na mapahinga, partner eh. Oo, pero ang problema, naawa ko doon sa mga bagong bata. Kasi, their mission is to follow Heidelin. Naghahanap silang paraan, makatulong sa pamilya. Yumaman din sila, gaya ni Heidi, kompleto na lahat ngayon. So yun ang aking pangarap ko talaga, Olympics sa Paris. Asian Games, okay lang yan. SEA Games, okay lang. Pero talaga, ang Paris Olympics ang hinahabol ko. Then I will definitely retire.
Wag mo na. Marami ka pa kailangan gawin. Monico, so we're talking about the SEA Games. How is the training? Ngayon na pababa na yung mga alert levels natin, pwede nang mag-international travel yung ating mga atleta to prepare for the SEA Games this year?
Wala kaming problema dyan, Noel, kasi na-lockdown ang Rizal Memorial. Lahat sila umuwi sa kanilang mga probinsya. And in every province, mayroon akong national coach eh. I have about 12 national coaches and I have about 30 girls, no? So every province has every province where there is a good performance, we have a national coach. So that's why in the international event na sumali sila this year, ito si Cristel Macrohon, everywhere where they participated, magandang performance nila. In the last World Championship, Sarno almost got the gold except for one lift, no? One lift na hindi niya nakuha yung barbell. Kung nakuha niya, gold medal sa World Championship. Kaya maski lockdown o walang lockdown, okay kami. Maganda yung programa namin. And then every time merong international event, sali kami. Sinasali ko, maski umiyak, talo. This is what Heidelin had to go through. Heidelin had to suffer, umiyak lahat until she won the gold.
Oo.
Ganun din ginagawa ko sa mga iba.
Pinag-uusapan ng Olympics, Monico, may mga balitan lumabas na there will be no more weightlifting in 2028. Ano ba ang sitwasyon diyan, lalong-lalo na from the International Federation?
Magandang question. Alam mo kasi I have been blessed to be a member of the International Board Federation before. Asian President ako noon. So I am very optimistic. Problema ang boxing. Mabigat ang boxing na problema kasi sa Tokyo pa lang, inano na sila, mukhang dinisiplinas na sila. Sa amin, we have 8 years to continue negotiating with the International Olympic Committee. Ang problema namin, doping. Kaya, in the last Congress, I recommended na dapat ang mga nahuhuli sa doping, like Thailand, Romania, China, Russia. Sabi ko, another 5 years of banning. Ban them all. After second is 10 years. Third one is forever iban. Kasi sila nakakasira. That's why I'm very optimistic na by 2028, 6 years from now, makumbinsi namin ang IOC, International Olympic Committee, na bawiin, na tuloy-tuloy kasi we are the original sport also ng Olympics.
Oo naman. Ang tagal-tagal na ng weightlifting sa Olympics. Ang tagal na nating sinubaybayan yan. We have had so many weightlifters. Si Jaime Sebastian. And of course, kung sino-sino pa. And of course, Heidelin. Ngayon pa nila alisin kung kailan tayo mamimitas ng mga medalya. Monico, talking about that, yung weightlifting and its popularity, the growth. May mga balita din na maaaring maidagdag ito, particularly sa UAAP. What is the movement now between the Philippine Weightlifting Association at ang mga collegiate leagues?
Maganda yan. Sana ang UAAP, mga directors, narinig ko parang alma mater ko at ang host ngayon. Sumulat kami mga 4 years ago, kami ni Heidelin, through Secretary Roque, si Rad Roque, na ipasok nyo na ito kasi dito tayo makakagold. Ang hirap basketball player ako ng Lasal pero paray basketball lang to at volleyball. Bigyan nyo naman, gusto nyo mag-gold. Dito tayo sa weightlifting. Kaya we tried this about 4-5 years ago. Kami ni Heidelin dalawa, nagbigay kami ng sulat, sabi daw kulang pa ng mga schools. So lahat na schools ngayon, buksan nyo na yung mga mata nyo. And then, to add more, yung palarong pambansa, papasok na rin kami. Pumayag na. We're now working, we're coordinating with palaro. That's more important because grassroots ang palaro. Ang UAP, mga yan mga Lasal Ateneo, UP, commercial. Ang palaro is talagang, that's where we started. Batang Pinoy, that's where I got Heidelin and everybody. So, okay lang. Pero kung nakikinig ang UAP ngayon, please naman, lalo ng alma mater ko, kung kayong host, gumising naman kayo.
Pasok na natin ang weightlifting. Monico, just before I let you go, confirmed Heidelin is playing sa Southeast Asian Games, will compete. Ano ang projection mo para sa SEA Games this coming year, this coming July?
Sa weightlifting, walang problema. We will do all right. So overall, you wanna bet? They are aiming for the top 3. Magdasal tayo. Magdasal na gusto. Top 3. You wanna bet?
Well, tingnan natin. Basta ang importante, ang ating mga atleta ay makalaban and of course, lahat tayo ay maging ligtas mula sa banta ng COVID. Monico, thank you so much for joining us this morning and good luck. Sana huwag ka magre-retire kaagad bago natin makuha yung ating pangalawa, pangatlo at pang-apat na medalya sa Olympiada. Maraming salamat, Monico.
Mabuhay ka, mabuhay ka. Salamat. Keep on.
Mabuhay.
Salamat.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Mga kaibigan, ang presidente po ng Philippine Weightlifting Association, si Mr. Monico Puentevella. Ako, napakatagal na niyan sa sports and of course, a good friend. Nakasama natin yan even when ako po ay nandun sa SPP. Alright, bago tayo magtapos, gusto ko lang pong magbasa. Ang dami pong nagpadala ng kanilang mga komentaryo sa Twitter. Again, nagpapasalamat kami sa ating chooks, doon sa ating mga nagpadala ng comments nila doon sa ating pinupulsuhan ng bayan at may mga premyong hatid ng Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Pero ang ating pong napili na nanalo ngayong araw pong ito sa ating tanong, malaki bang kawalan ang hindi paglalaro ng Korea dun sa FIBA FIBA World Cup Qualifier. Malaki ba hong kawalan yan sa Gilas? Si Melissa Batumbakal, ang ating una pong napiling nanalo. Sabi niya, "Hi Kom, para sa akin po ay malaking kawalan ng Korea sapagkat alam naman natin ang kasaysayan ng Korea at Pilipinas when it comes to basketball. Isa pa, importante ang mga ganyan na laro sa Gilas to test their character as a team. Kaya sayang, wala ang Korea." Maraming salamat, Melissa. At ikaw ay makakatanggap ng PM mula sa amin tungkol sa mga gift certificates ng Chooks to Go. Ang isa pa natin napili sa dami-dami na nagpadala, si Sullivan Brusola. Sabi niya, para sa akin, hindi kawalan ng Gilas Pilipinas ang hindi paglalaro ng Korea. Sa katunayan, malaki pa ang benefit nito sa atin dahil may 2 panalo kaagad tayo sa qualifiers at posibleng makatulong ito sa pag-angat sa FIBA rankings. Ito ay malaking kawalan para sa Korea. Tama nga naman, no? Dahil maaaring maging sani ito na di nila pag-qualify sa World Cup sa 2023 dahil sa 4 losses na makukuha nila ngayong window na ito. Thank you so much, Sullivan Brusola. Again, sa lahat po ng nagpadala ng kanilang mga komentaryo, maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsuporta sa ating Puso ng Bayan. Hatid sa inyo ng Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Makakakuha kayo ng message para po sa inyong mga gift certificates ng napakasarap na mga manok mula sa Chooks to Go. Alright mga kaibigan, that will do it for us ngayong Sabado ng umaga. Abangan nyo po ang inay ko po sa 1PH. Again, lagi po natin sinasabi tuwing Sabado, bawal ang masungit. At sa lahat po ng ating mga gawain, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Kami po ang 1PH, teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino. Happy Sports Weekend mga kapatid! More power, more play!
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at magpapatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, Chumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Maniga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa sa kapwa ko Pilipino.
Power and Play with Kom Noli Eala. Game over na. Next Saturday ulit, Noli Eala Power and Play sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum.